Welcome back to Talking Shit. As you can see, I'm all by my lonesome today. Well, I've been kind of thinking about relationships, not just like romantic relationships. I mean, all relationships. You have small, seamless, transaction-based relationships with clerks at your local convenience stores, or that one dude in your neighborhood who likes to wave at people. Uh, then you have relationships that require more effort, like coworkers and acquaintances, usually just greetings and polite chit chat. Uh, and we have the big two, friendships and romantic relationships. Those are the ones that everyone seems to want, but nobody ever be able to seems to get. There are obvious exceptions. We all at least know people or know of people who have seemingly great relationships, whether it's a close knit group of buddies from college or high school sweethearts that somehow stuck together. There are a lot of bullshit expectations and pressures we put on ourselves regarding relationships, and are not surprisingly due to the overindulgence of media. Also unsurprising, trying to emulate the shit we see on whatever streaming services we're dumb enough to pay for, or whatever random meaningless drivel we scroll through endlessly, will generally end in toxic failure. Or you're just really good at keeping up appearances and lying your ass off. Now, I've never really felt like I've fit in anywhere, not 100%, and I know I'm not alone in that feeling. So, along with all my own personal trauma and experiences, it eventually brought me to my very simple philosophy. If you don't fuck me or feed me or finance me, then your existence generally doesn't matter to me. Thoughts and opinions of beings, such beings, even less so. And is generally how I've lived my life since I was. Here I am, nearly 40, and zero close friends, really. Aside from my partner and my child, I don't really speak to any other humans for a long period of time. I've never really had any issues finding like sexual partners or romantic relationships, but strong, meaningful friendships seem to elude. And the older I get, the less I try because sifting through all the garbage people to find someone passably cool, a lot of energy for someone who will likely evaporate after a month or less. And you know, the casual dating and casual sex scene is super streamlined these days. I wish it were that easy to find cool people to hang out with. Most are just looking to gain something from you. And they say open communication and honesty are the keys, but that's not really true, is it? Because people will say they want the truth until you tell them the truth, and then you're an asshole. I have a hard time understanding why everyone is so non confrontational these days. Confrontation is the shortest path to truth, but most people will ghost you like you were nothing instead of having a conversation with even the slightest bit of awkwardness in it. So the question is, why does it seem like the older you get, the more difficult it is to start relationships? When you're young, the only criteria that you had was really just proximity. Neighbors and cousins, those were your friends. Kids will generally befriend and play with any other kid. That's when you start school. That's when you become a little more selective about relationships because our still very much underdeveloped primate brains control our subconscious behavior. And we believe who you associate with directly affects your social status. Some people never grow out of that mentality, and it forever limits their relationships. But there's lots of different limitations for adults wanting to cultivate new friendships. Some people are just at different life stages. You could be at different stages in life, single, married, with or without kids. That can create barriers to forming friendships due to differing priorities and interests. Also, if you have a family or a stressful job or whatever, you're generally limited on time and energy. Uh, when you're a kid, adults often have busy schedules with work and family responsibilities and other commitments, and their time and energy is limited and can often make it hard to invest in new relationships. Many people already have very well established social circles from their school, college, or early career years, and breaking into these existing groups can be daunting because these are usually like childhood friendships and they're often built on shared experiences like school or hobbies. And finding common ground with potential friends can be more challenging. People have diverse backgrounds and interests. A lot of times it's lack of proximity. Unlike school or college, when you were near potential friends every day, you often need to make conscious effort to meet new people. Now, as you get older, you may move to a new city for work or family reasons, making it difficult to maintain old friendships or establish new ones. Depending upon where you live or where you move to, there can be cultural and language barriers. In diverse societies, you might face challenges in forming friendships due to cultural and language differences, um, which can cause or create misunderstandings, barriers in communication. In some cultures or social circles, there may even be stigma attached to seeking out new friends or as an adult, which can deter individuals from actively pursuing friendships. So that's why most people tend to stick with social media. And there's a big difference between social media versus in person interaction, obviously. Um, while social media can help connect people, it also creates a false sense of socialization because building meaningful in person relationships requires more effort and face to face interaction. That's why many people prefer relationships with a buffer of a game or a website between them. I've been in situations where I'm gaming with people for years, and at some point you find an opportunity to meet up in real life, and they end up being completely different from the person you spent so much time with online. Um, Many adults spend significant amount of time online, which can reduce opportunities for face-to-face socialization and hinder development of meaningful friendships. Sometimes, you get your friends online and you play games together and you start to get bored of those games. Changing interests happens. Make relationships stagnate or outright kill them. Sometimes interests evolve or boredom with a shared activity, and it may be challenging to find people who share your current hobbies or passions. I mean, nearly all relationships are built on trust, and sometimes that can involve showing vulnerability. Building deep, meaningful friendships can often involve sharing personal experiences and vulnerabilities, and a lot of people struggle with that. Trust issues, and they find it hard to open up to new people because, I believe that the biggest true limitation for creating new friendships is fear of rejection. As we grow older, the fear of rejection tends to increase, and this fear can make people more hesitant to initiate conversation or take risks in forming new friendships. I mean, despite all the challenges, it is important to note that forming new friendships as an adult is possible and can be highly rewarding. It often requires effort and patience and willingness to step out of your comfort zone. Now that the monologue's over, and I'm sufficiently baked, stupid, difficult, and tedious trying to come up with an hour's worth of content alone. Just gonna rattle off these terrible chat GPT relationship jokes, mixed in with a few of my own. Because fuck it. Feel free to skip to the end. My final thought. Relationships are like ordering food at a fancy restaurant. You see the menu with all those options and you're like, I'll take a steak. And then it arrives and it's nothing like you expected. I thought I ordered a steak, not this mystery meat. You ever notice how relationships are a lot like a game of chess? Unless it's an abusive relationship, then it feels like you're playing checkers. You're moving around trying not to get jumped. Realize that dating is just a series of auditions. Can you make me laugh? Can you cook? Are you a psycho? Can you tolerate my quirks? Okay, next. Every couples always say we're trying to have a baby. Trying implies effort, but you're basically just having a lot of fun, hoping for a surprise 9 months later. Honey, tonight we're gonna try really, really hard. When you're single, you hear couples say we finish each other's sentence and you think that's cute. But when you're in a relationship, you're like, can you just let me finish a sentence for once? You ever notice how Netflix and chill used to mean watching a movie and likely hooking up, but in a relationship it's just code for let's see how many episodes we can binge watch before we pass out in a food coma? Relationships are like smartphones. At the beginning, they're shiny and new, but after a while, they're cracked, the battery's dying, and you're just hoping to make it through the day. Learn that arguing with your significant other is like arguing with a GPS. It's pointless because you're both just stubbornly committed to your own route, even when you're lost. Why is it that couples in movies always wake up looking perfect? In real life, you wake up and you're like, who are you? And why is your hair doing that? You know, you're in a long-term relationship when you start discussing important matters like who's going to take out the trash this time and who the fuck ate all the ice cream. Couples say they love spending quality time together, but when it comes to picking a movie or a restaurant, it's like trying to negotiate world peace. And then usually just ends up with everyone getting pizza. Getting a pet together is like a trial run for having kids. Can we keep this plant alive? Good. Let's try a goldfish. If it survives, we might be ready for a dog. You ever notice how couples become experts at passive-aggressive communication? Oh, you're going out with your friends again. That's fine. I'll just sit here and talk to the wall. Relationships have their own version of superhero origin story. It's called the first argument. That's when you discover each other's superpowers like selective listening and the master of the silent treatment. I figured out the key to successful relationships: a shared love of ordering takeout. When you both agree on your favorite Thai place, you know you found the one. Why do couples take so many selfies? Is it to prove to the world that they're still in love? Look, we're smiling. We haven't killed each other yet. Couples often say we complete each other, but sometimes it's more like we cancel each other out. It's a mathematical relationship, you see. Add your craziness to mine, and we're just left with zero. In relationships, compromise is key. Both have to give a little. Like, I'll give up my dream of owning a pet elephant if you promise to stop leaving your socks all over the house. Relationships are like a roller coaster. There are ups, there are downs, and sometimes you just need to scream your way through it and hope you don't puke. Dating in the digital age is like playing a never-ending game of swipe right or swipe left. It's like shopping for love on Amazon. You know you're in a relationship is getting serious when you start using we instead of I. We love Thai food. We want to go on vacation. We really should clean the bathroom. Breakups are like a crash course in quantum physics. You're simultaneously sad and relieved, angry and forgiving, and wondering if you'll ever understand the laws of attraction. Couples who finish each other's sentences are cute, but couples who finish each other's ice cream are goals. That's love. Aww. Why do we spend hours getting ready for a date only to order the messiest thing on the menu? I'll have spaghetti with extra sauce. Now where's that bib at? Relationships are like Wi-Fi connections. Sometimes they're strong, other times they're mysteriously gone when you need them the most. In relationships, you go from Netflix and chill to Netflix and bicker in record time. I thought we were watching a rom-com, not a documentary on our relationship. Why is it that when you're single, everyone asks, when are you getting in a relationship? But when you're in one, they ask, when are you getting married? Can't win either way. Couples therapy is like trying to fix a leaky boat with a Band-Aid. It's a start, but you might need a whole new boat. You ever notice how the honeymoon phase in a relationship is like the opening act of a concert? It's exciting and full of energy, but you know the headliner's still to come. After years together, couples develop their own secret language. Honey, can you pass me the thingamajig? Sure, babe. Here's the doohickey. When someone says, it's not you, it's me, in a breakup, it's like saying, the Titanic didn't sink. It was the icebergs. Long-distance relationships are like taking a yoga class over the phone. You're trying to stretch and bend your love around time zones and miles. Being in a relationship means a designated side of the bed and waging silent war over the blankets every night. Why is it when you're single, your friends act like you're their personal dating coach? Swipe right on that one, text this, wear that, and be yourself, but not too much. Couples who claim to never argue are either lying or have discovered the secret of telepathic communication. When you're dating, you spend hours choosing the perfect profile picture, but in a relationship, it's all about choosing the least embarrassing one of your anniversary slideshow. Couples who work out stay together, mainly because they're too tired to argue afterward. Why do couples have to argue about the thermostat all the time? It's too hot. No, it's too cold. You should just get two thermostats, one for each person. Dating is like playing poker. You start with a smile, but by the end of the night, you're folding and hoping the other person doesn't call your bluff. When you're single, you have all the time in the world to make decisions. In a relationship, even choosing a restaurant becomes a high-stakes negotiation. Relationships are like a Rubik's Cube. At first, it seems impossible to solve, but with time and patience, you figure out how to make it work. You ever notice that couples start to look like each other after a while? Maybe it's just what happens when you spend too much time together. Your DNA starts to merge. Why do couples always feel the need to document every moment of their lives on social media? Here's us at the grocery store. Grocery goals. Being single is like being the captain of your own ship. Being in a relationship is like having a co-captain who insists on using Apple Maps instead of Google Maps. Now you're in a committed relationship when you have a joint calendar, and half of it are entries or doctor's appointments or reminders to buy toilet paper. Couples who have been together for a long time have their own silent signals. The look can communicate an entire conversation without a word being spoken. You're single, your friends give you dating advice like they're relationship experts. Be yourself, they say, as if that solves everything. Relationships are like bank accounts. You have to make deposits of love and affection, or else you end up with emotional overdraft. You ever notice how couples can remember the tiniest details about their first date, but they can't remember where they put their car keys in the morning? Dating is like a game of hide and seek. You're trying to find someone who's hiding their crazy until you're already invested. Why is it when you're single, your friends set you up on the worst blind dates? He's perfect for you. He collects antique spoons and has a pet snake. When you're single, your friends set you up with anyone who's breathing. You're both single, so you must be perfect for each other. It's like they're matchmaker roulette. Relationships are like roller coasters. There are thrilling highs and stomach-churning lows, and sometimes you wonder why you got on in the first place. I know I'm not the friendliest person, nor am I the easiest to get along with. I do not fault anyone for getting sick of my shit. Is it too much to ask to let me know? I need to take breaks from people too. I like my peace and quiet. I try to be considerate and make sure they know that we are cool. I just need to take a break. Because disagreements happen and feathers get ruffled, but this ghosting shit is for soft motherfuckers. If I have any friends out there still listening, I'm sorry I'm such an insensitive asshole. And if we on that real one level, I'm sure we'll reconnect. If not, it was likely fun while it lasted. That'll about do it for talking shit. I hope you enjoyed. And remember, relationship statuses are like broken pencils. Pointless.